So you have 3 different scenario choices, which one is crash landed, which you start off with all this stuff, which this is what I normally do. You start off with 3 people, and then you get silver, survival meals, medicine components, and so on and so forth. And all of this will be, some of the stuff, like components, are very important in the game. So you just want to make sure that, like, for some of these, it can be very hard because I don't even think, yeah, you don't get any components in this. Components, you build like machinery out of components. So it's once you get going, it's a very important part of the game. So Lost Tribe, 5 people, and then you get all this stuff, but there's less stuff here. So the stories behind this is, your tribe was destroyed in the Great Blood Machines, and by the Great Blood Machines sent by the gods. 5 of you have managed to escape. Now it's time to build up a new home. Now, since you'll start poor and research slowly, this is a difficult scenario. So that's another one. And then you can get different scenarios from the Steam Workshop. Like this one's a Fallout scenario, and I can play this if you guys want me to. It's pretty much like if your people aren't in a roofed environment, then they'll get like radiation, I think, or something like that. And then Exiled Tribe. I never really played this one. I don't know. And then so this one. So these are all just generic scenarios. So so this one's you start out with 1 person, and then so you're a rich explorer, so you get lots of silver, which is the currency in the game, and you can build things out of silver, but I would not recommend doing it because you need it for trading and stuff. You get lots of this glitter world medicine, which is the best medicine you can get for your people. So it looks like you get some pretty good stuff with this one. Yeah, 300 wood. I'll get into like all of the building components and stuff. So I'm gonna do crash landed. So the story is, the 3 of you awake in your cryo sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. So this planet is called Rimworld. So yeah, let's get into it. So we have to choose our storyteller. All of them have different like stories. So this guy is like random, and he's really hard. This guy, if you play for a while and you get really good, you want to extreme mode on him is pretty much like good luck. And then you can choose if you want it to be permadeath, so you only get 1 life. And then this one's more easygoing. Creates story events on a steadily increased curve of challenges and tension. So I don't normally go with her. I normally go with this one. Gives lots of time between disasters to relax and build your colony. But beware, at high difficulty, she hits as hard as anyone. So then you can choose on whichever storyteller you want. You can choose the difficulty you want. So peaceful, well, you guys can read through all these. Well, actually, I'll just give you like a basic. So this one's sandbox-like. There's no major threats, like you won't get raided or anything. Base builder, it gives you enough resources for you can build a decent base, but there's still going to be threats. Some challenges might be harder to get resources, and there's going to be more challenges. Rough, resources will be scarce. You'll get raided a lot. Intense, you'll get raided a lot. Like seriously, like it's not fun. And then extreme is just constant raids, constant events happening, people getting diseases and dying. So I'm gonna go with base builder. Okay, so you can set the seed of what your planet will be. I don't really mess with the seed. I just whatever, just give it a random one. And then global coverage. So if you have it less, like at 30, the map will be much smaller. It'll pretty much be the size of like probably, I don't know, it's just small. And then 50% is bigger, but it's not like the full like 100%. And so the higher you go, the longer it will take to load in because it has to load in more places. Every place on the map you can go, which I'll get into that later. So I'm just gonna do, I'll do 50%, and then you can choose how much rainfall you want, the overall temperature of the world. I've done like really low in past times, and it's complete snow, and it's if there's like an aurora where all of your electricity goes out, then your people are going to get hypothermia and die right away because of how cold it is. So I'm just going to keep both of these at normal. You want rainfall because if there's like a dry thunderstorm or something, fires start really easily. So you want there to be rainfall for then it can put out those fires. So I think we push that. And so when we after this screen is done loading, then we get to pick out our characters, and I'll jump ahead to that. So this is our planet. Well, not our planet, but I'll explain all of these markers later. So what we do now is we have to choose where we want to start. So you can see that all of these, where it's dark, are very mountainous areas. So I think you can start a world on one of these, but I wouldn't recommend it. You want mountains for cover. So like say you have a pretty mountainous area, and so you're covered in by mountains. Then you can, if you get raided, you can build up just like a single wall because the rest will be just mountains. So they can't get to you except that one way. So you'll know which way they'll be able to come in. So mountains are good for cover, and they're also good for getting resources at the beginning. So I'm just gonna pick, I don't want somewhere too mountainous, so I'm just gonna pick like somewhere here. And you want to make sure the grow period is year-round, or else growing is pretty much your main source of food, unless you have a lot of animals in your area. So you want your growing period to be year-round, so you can grow things all the time. So here, I'll explain all these places quick, might as well. So there's factions, and you're friends with some of the factions. So compact of I can't pronounce that tribe, and the wolves. We're not friends with, but these three tribes we are the North of Sirens. I can't pronounce these. So the ones in red are enemies of yours that you can attack, and then all of the other ones are factions that you are friends with. So all of these places are just outposts and bases. So that's pretty much all the markers on the screen. There's a lot of them, but they're pretty simple. You can tell which tribes are which because they're different colors. So like if I would have loaded in the full world, I could go across this entire thing and there would be land. And so every square of this you can travel. So if I had a base here, it would take a while, but I could go all the way over here and start another base. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go here. because I can't remember where my base was. Although I'm gonna make sure to eat growing. Oh, so this one you won't be able to grow the entire time, probably because temperatures will drop and your plants won't be able to grow. So here, this is year-round. So, and this is large hills, so that's good. So I think I'm gonna pick this one. So now we pick out the people we want. So what you want to look for, if there's a little dash here, that means they can't do it. So they can't even learn on it, which this person's really bad because, well, they're good at these things. If there's like a fire icon by their skills or whatever, they'll want to do it like really bad. So the skills can go up to 20. So this person has 4 on shooting, but they really want to get into shooting. 10 on melee, which they want to, but not as much as shooting. They're very social, which is good for communicating to people, like for peace treaties and stuff. You want that. And then they also want to do medicine and animals. You want animals because if you're trying to travel somewhere, your people won't be able to carry all the stuff they need to. And so if you get like, I'll have to show you this to you once we get into it, but like a muffalo, which is pretty much like a buffalo, they can carry a lot, and you need to be able to tame them. So you have to have someone who's good at animals. And so you can look at their health. Some people have addictions to certain drugs in the game. But this person just has a bite scar on their left leg. They have a relationship with someone. They might, sometimes I've found like sisters, but they were left behind. So these people who are left behind, you can select them and then they'll be in there selected, but then you have to take someone out of this. So these are the people who are going to come with you right now, but these are the people you're leaving behind in your ship or whatever that got blown up. So it doesn't look like they're here, but they have a relationship with their mother. So if you put people with relationships together, they'll get a mood boost, unless they're like married or something and then they get a divorce, and then they'll be like unhappy for the rest of their life. So this person has some traits, physically deaf. So yeah, I don't know. And teeter toddler. The idea of gaining pleasure from chemicals and avoiding alcohol and pleasurable drugs. Well, that's good. So she will avoid doing drugs, which is good. You don't want any of your people doing drugs. You can make drugs, but in the game, but like if you have some of those like in your stockpile or whatever, that's where you keep stuff at. They'll just use them, which I don't deal with drugs in this game. So let's go on to the rest of our people. Old gunshot, right arm. So they're capable of doing everything, but some stuff they have 0, which is okay because they can learn on it. Instead of like with this, where they can't learn, they don't do it. See, the incapable of skilled labor, intelligence, and artist. And I don't know why they can't do construction. Oh, skilled labor. So construction is skilled labor, and so is mining and crafting. Okay, so this person looks pretty good, unless they have some weird traits. It's like, that's weird. Tater really dislikes and distrusts women. And, oh. Okay. Tater always says exactly what's on his mind, especially if it's bugging him. That tends to rub people in the wrong way. So this guy, he looks good for skills, but these traits are not good. Because mental breaks. There's a lot of mental breaks in the game, and people react differently. Sometimes they'll just hide in the room. Sometimes they'll go on a food binge. Sometimes they'll just wander around and they won't eat, and they can starve that way. And some people will go on like a fire starting spree. Some people will go on a tantrum and they'll just start shooting stuff. So you really don't want mental breaks. So let's see. And you can see their backstory, like their childhood, space smuggler, adulthood, space raider. So I don't think I'm going to take this person just because of their traits. So you can do randomize and then you just get like a new person. So I'm not going to take this person either because they're incapable of doing all this stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to randomize this for I get a new person. So this person's not able to cook and can't be intelligent. Bite scar on their left arm. There's psychopath. Okay, maybe not. Brawler. That's not good. I never looked at our last person, I don't think. So this person can't do violence, which is bad. And can't do crafting or intelligence. So I'm going to change this one too. I'll look at that in a second once I'm done with this one. So I don't think I'm going to do this one because he's 17 and he's a psychopath. Okay, yeah. So this person can do everything. Doesn't like women. Naturally optimistic about life. It's hard to get him down. That's good. All of this looks good. You want people who can grow. You want people who can do construction, cooking. You want people to be able to do animals, and well, growing is pretty much the most important, and so is construction. So you can see team skills. So within these 3 people, these are the skills we have right now, which is pretty good. We have 3 construction, but people really want to construct. Not much mining, some melee, a lot of shooting, which is good. Some cooking, not much growing. We need more growing, and we don't need it that much intelligent. Okay, so let me see. So growing 1, 0, 1. Why does it say growing 1? Because there's 2. 1, 2. I don't know. Okay. So between this person, the shooting's really good. Is that the only shooting we have? No, there's more shooting. Okay, so I think I'm gonna change out this person. She's really good at construction, animals, and cooking. So maybe not. Yeah, this person. Okay. Shooting. Well, this is all good here. Growing 5. Yeah, that's what we needed. Just stab scar. Chemical interest. Wimp. She likes having things squared away. He will work harder than most to attain this state of affair. But he is nervous and can get the better out of him. Okay, I think this is good. Not much mining, but that's okay. You can change their names, but I don't really feel like doing that. So I think that's what we're going to do. So then you just push start. Okay, so the 3 of you awake in your cryo sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens ripping metal. You barely escape. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. So we already read this at the beginning, but we did not read this. So we'll come down here. So I always pause right away. So the weird thing that really no other game has this mechanic is that everything right away is forbidden. So they won't pick this up. This is all steel. So if you zoom out to where you can see everything, well, every like piece of steel, if you double click on one, you can get all of them. And then you can unforbid all of them. You want steel, so people won't pick this up. They'll just ignore it if it's forbidden. Same with everything else you came with. So all this packaged survival meals, that's forbidden, so you unforbid that. The weapons, there's 3 weapons. There's a knife, there's a pistol, and there's a rifle. So you want your best hunter to have the rifle, and then if you have a person who's better at shooting, then you give that person the gun, and then the last person gets the knife. That's at least how I do it. You guys don't have to do it like that. And then you have components, which I'll unforbid, and then your silver, which is your currency. I'll unforbid that. The gun, knife, and then this person's on top. And you always get a pet. So this is a husky, but this is our pet. And so this wolf isn't. So we have 2 options, to hunt or tame it, which we can do later. So this is our map. This is our home. So there's a herd of buffalo up here. These are like the buffalo that can carry a lot, but they're harder to tame than most animals because they're bigger. And then these are boomalopes. These give a decent amount of meat, but when you try to kill them, they most likely will explode. And they'll start fires, which then can start huge forest fires. So they are good for meat, but I don't think they're worth getting like blown up. And so the dull buck. So there's just a herd of deer here. Turkey. I always figure out what animals are in my area, and you can also find items scattered around. So this is survival packages. For survival meal packages. So I'm going to unforbid all those. There's a room here, which this is a decent sized room, so I've seen this kind of thing before. There's going to be, well, tell me in the comments if I should let you guys know what's going to be in here, because it's kind of something that you would want to find out on your own, but again, you probably want to know what's in there before you go in there. You have some ibex ram, and this is a boom rat. So I'm guessing, I haven't killed one of these before. These, I'm guessing, don't give you much meat, but I'm guessing they explode because they're boom rats. And there'll be ruins all over the map. If a ruin is completely closed in like this one, see how there's like broken walls and stuff on these ones? This one's completely full, so you can't see inside of it. Yeah, like this one, there's probably nothing in here, but because it's not open, you can't see in there, even though there's probably nothing in there. Most times, the only things that you will the only rooms that you will find stuff in the game that were here are in mountains, like this one. And I think I know what's in here, but I don't think I'm gonna spoil it for you guys unless you guys want me to. So it is kind of important to know what's in there, but then again, whatever. I'll let you guys choose. I don't want to spoil it. There will be spoilers in this game, of course. I mean, in this video. Well, not like big spoilers, but it's just a tutorial. Like, you should probably play the game first, but like, if you don't do so good, then this is what you would watch to figure out how to actually start off good. So right now the game is paused. Nothing's happening, so days aren't going by. I'm just looking around. Room's closed, but there's probably nothing in there. It's just a small room. Yeah, so like, what's this room made of? It's made of slate. This is how you can tell the difference between this kind of room. This is that's slate too. It's a different color, isn't it? Normally they're made of steel. Maybe there is nothing in there. Yeah, rooms are always randomized. You never know. So of course there are ancient civilizations here, so there's something in there. So I think that's pretty much all there is. Normally you can find some more steel just laying around the map in some places. Oh, here, I just passed one of these. These are thermal vents. Once you get further in the game, you can unlock thermal generators, and they make you a lot of power. And there's probably like 5 to 10 of these on each map, so you can make a decent amount of power off those. So, oh bunny. Okay, so let's see how I want to start this. So we need wood. So there's some wood here that's forbidden, but now it's not. There's a turtle here. So some animals at random points will there'll be a manhunter pack, which they're pretty much on a rampage and they're just trying to kill your people, which is really annoying. Even like a hare will do it, just like a little bunny, and so will foxes and stuff. But like a hare can't do much damage, but why? It's just random. So I'm gonna build a small little structure here. I would recommend starting out of the wood. Don't try to make anything steel, because steel in the early game is meant for bigger purposes than building. So I would just make a small little area. Your people will be unhappy that they don't have separate rooms, but that's not really a big concern right now. And you always want to have a floor, or else they'll be mad because their room is ugly. It's literally like being human. They have all the needs. So feeling bad, in a little pain, -4 and 5 on their mood scale. Extreme low expectations, 25. New colony optimism, 10. So this person's pretty good right now. Pretty good. Which if they get attached to an animal and it dies, they're gonna be upset for a long time. So now, okay, so this is a pretty complicated part of the game, but it's really important. So this is how you prioritize what people do. You can do it this way by check marks, so they'll actually be doing these things, or you can do it by actual priorities. So see how some of these squares are darker like this? That means they're not as good at it as other people. So like if I take this off, on growing, you can see how this one's pretty blacked out, this one's pretty blacked out, but this one's like grayish. That means, well, you can see the skill level. So this one, the average skill 0, and this one's 1, but this one's 5. That's why it's lighter like that, because the person is actually better at it. So you can tell what people should be doing. I would have all of your people, I would have one of your people be on cleaning duty, because or else people will get mad that it's not, your place isn't clean. Your place will get dirty after a while, and if you have a butcher's table and you're butchering animals, then there'll be blood by the general area of that table, so which will have to be cleaned up. And then you want people hauling. So how the priorities work here is it's 3, 2, 1. 3 being they'll do it, but it's not their #1 priority. 2 being they'll do it, and then 1 is that's what they're doing, unless they have more than 1 on their priority bar. So every person has their own bar, and so higher priorities are on this side and lower priorities are on this side. So if you have someone, so this person's doing cleaning too, but I want them to be growing too, so they're both #1. If it's high priority over here, they'll do this first, and it's a lower priority over here. So if there's no more growing to be done, then they'll clean. But say if cleaning was on this side and growing was on this side, then they would do cleaning first, because as it says here, higher priorities are on this side, lower priorities are on this side. So you're still telling people that it's high priority to do it, but it's on the low priority side. It's very confusing, but once you play for a while, you actually understand. So you want people who are good at their tasks to be doing their task on here. So you can tell by the color of the boxes, which I just talked about. So let me see, I'm just going to kind of go through this. Construction. So I'll have this person be 2 on construction since they're already doing growing. I'm not gonna have them do cleaning number 1 because they're already doing something. That was just a example. I'll have this person. Well, it doesn't really matter because it's low priority again. So I'll have everyone be number 1 hauling because you always want stuff under a roof. If it's not under a roof, then it's gonna get damaged. Also with food, they have to be in a cold environment. So you have to make a room and then use a cooler to make that room like pretty much a freezer. And then you put food in there and like meat and stuff where it doesn't spoil. Like if you kill an animal and its corpse is out, you want to put that in the cooler until you butcher it. And then you get cloth and meat from that creature. So I'll come back when I finish all this. So I think that's all I wanted to go through right now. So yeah, I'll just come back when I finish this. Actually, as I just started on this, see how some of these are like white? That means they're inspired to do it, and they're really good at it. So you always, whatever is white, you pretty much want to have that person doing it, no matter what. Unless it's like wardening. That's for like when you have prisoners. Which you can, once you play the game, you can see what all of these mean. So I won't go through explaining all of them, or else it'll just get even more confusing from here. So I just wanted to say that. So I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, so I finished up. So I'll explain some of this. You want everyone firefighting. That means if there's a fire in your home area, they'll get to it right away. That's on the number 1 priority, and I have them all on number 1 priority. So, and then the more, so see how these ones are red? Because I actually made them do it, it becomes red because they're not good at it. So the game's telling you that they're not good at it, so you might not want to put them on it, but I still do, because then once they do it a good amount, then they'll learn, and they'll get better at it. So I have everyone hauling because, again, you want things to be where they need to be. And then growing, I have all 3 people growing, even though these 2 are bad at it. I have everyone mining, even though these 2 are bad at it. And then, let me see what else is important. Hunting. So you want one person hunting, or else the other one will get mad because you only have 1 rifle. And if a hunter doesn't have a rifle, then they get mad because they can't do their job. So these are your like colonist needs. These are hints from the game. So hunter lacks ranged weapon because I haven't assigned weapons yet. So this is my hunter because, well, if you can see in here, that box is white, so that means he's really good. Is this a he? That means he's really good at it. So what you do here is you click on the person, and then you right click on the weapon, and then you tell them to equip it. And then once you play the game, once you like push play, then they'll go get it, but I'm not going to do that right now. So if I look at, I can see their characteristics, just like when I was picking them out. So I can see that this person has a 3 for shooting and a 1 for melee. And this person has a 14 for shooting and a 9 for melee. So I'm going to give this person the other gun because they have a 14. Actually, wait. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And so even though this person's bad at melee, that's what they're gonna get. So there's the knife. So now they're gonna start getting to work. Normally you would need more wood to build a house like this, but whatever is in the way of the building, they'll take down. So there's a bunch of trees here, so it kind of works out good because they'll most likely have enough wood to build this area. And you don't need resources for building roofs. They'll just build roofs, even though it looks like it's like steel or something. I don't think it uses any resources. So let's see. So I have 1 person cleaning, 1 person doing research. I'll get into research in a little bit. I think I'm gonna make this more than 1 episode because this could take a while. So let me see. So construction, everyone's doing construction, but constructions are a really important part because if it's like, if you have something that needs to be built like right away, it needs to get done. So that's about all with that. So let's start doing stuff here. So they're gonna build this place out. Here, I'm gonna make this go faster. So see how it says construction failed? It's because they're not that good at it right now. So sometimes they fail at building stuff, which if they're building something big, you can lose some resources on that, so that's kind of bad. So right now it's 53 degrees outside Fahrenheit, which is kind of cold. I thought it would be warmer because it's a year-round growing period, so I thought it was going to be pretty warm. So let's get them going on that. So, and people won't put anything down unless zoning area is a very important thing. So what you need is a stockpile zone, which we'll put right here. So now they'll set stuff in here, but you have to set what they can put in here. So chunks are these things. They take up a lot of room, and you can't use them until later. These pretty much just sit here. They're used for, you can break them down to make limestone, like just limestone instead of being a chunk. So you can't set chunks here because they just take up a lot of room. There's so many of them. So I don't normally change this because this is just, they can put anything here except for what the game has chosen, for no animal corpses or mechanoid corpses and no chunks. So everything else I can put here, which is, that's what I want. And then you can, the priority on this, once you have different stockpiles, and say you just have one for silver, for you just have an area where all of your money is, then you can set the priority to critical. So then they'll want to put the silver into the other stockpile, but right now this is just normal. So they'll just set stuff in here. But you want this area roofed. So what I do is I pretty much use walls to make pillars, and then I use the build roof area, which is also in zones, to build a roof here. Okay, so let's see here. Just gonna be building that. So now they're moving all this stuff over here. Now what I do next is I normally make another stockpile here, and I clear everything, and I only allow chunks. Well, I only allow stone chunks, because these steel slag chunks, you can melt these down and you can make steel from those, which is very nice. So they're gonna move that out there. See, so now this place is being roofed, but they don't need any resources to make it roofed. So because this packaged meal is outside of where the roof is, deteriorating to being unroofed, but this one is fine. These packaged survival meals can't go spoiled if they're not in the cold. But like when you make meals, like simple meals, they have to be in cold conditions. And this right here, I don't know why they harvested one, or maybe it was here. This is a herbal medicine made from I think it's a heel root, which looks like that. So herbal medicine is what you'll most likely start on once you use all of your normal medicine. It's not as good as normal medicine, but it'll do the job. And if you have good enough growers, you can actually grow this, but you have to have there's a minimum skill that one of your growers has to have to be able to use this. I mean, not use it, but to grow the heel root. Jesus, it's taking them forever. So it's saying here that colonists need a bed. So we'll just put in 3 beds. 1, 2, 3. And I don't know if I have enough resources, but I kind of want to build like a cooler. Oh, I just saw this on. So this is some wood that will unforbid. I feel like there's going to be more resources all over the map that I'm not seeing. Normally there is a lot more steel that you just find out. What are you guys doing over here? Oh, there was some meals over here that they're grabbing. I'm just looking to see if I can find any more meals or survival. So these are ship chunks. You can get components and steel from them. They will not hurt you. Oh, here's some steel. So we'll unforbid that. And this is compact machinery. So I don't know why this is like this. It's pretty much acting like almost like a stone, but it's machinery. So I think this gives you I think it gives you components, but I can't remember exactly. So these two people are sleeping, but they didn't make the other bed in time, so this person's sleeping outside. But what I'm going to do to show you guys is if someone's sleeping, if you click on them and there's something to do, they can, like if you right click on something as you're like hovered over them, they can build something. But this person's, they need wood to build this other bed, so apparently I can't do that. I was going to make them go build the bed for them, they could sleep in it. Our dog is sleeping outside. Or husky. Wait until morning, which is here. We need more wood. So what we can do now is we can order them to chop wood. And then they'll chop that wood. So they must have harvested some berries, because they have berries apparently. So not refrigerated, spoils in 13 days, which there's only 14 left, so I'm guessing we'll eat them. I think I'm going to end this episode shortly. There's a lot of stuff to go over on this game, so I think I'm going to make more episodes of just tutorial to how to build a good base in the beginning. And if you guys want to see what's in this room, oh, where's that? Oh, down here. If you guys want to see what's in this room, tell me and I'll open it, but it might be a spoiler to some. So once they get this built and we just get stuff going good, I think I'm going to end this episode and I'll keep on going from there. Okay, so that fox just ate one of our meals. We might have to kill the fox. So this place isn't roofed over yet because they haven't finished constructing it, which they should have by now. I don't understand why they haven't. Probably because they ran out of wood. I thought there would be enough. If it sounds like there's a high-pitched noise, I'm gonna try to reduce that. But it's the fans on my computer, so sorry for that. I heard that as I was looking through the audio. I will try to reduce that noise though. Jesus, it's gonna take another night. Well, now they have beds, but it's raining, so they're getting rained on. All the supplies in them though. So foggy rain, 3rd of September. So the year is, dude, it's like over 2,000 years in the future. Nice. So I think this game is like, I think it's either like $20 or $25 on Steam. I would really recommend getting it if you haven't already. Which I don't know why you would be watching a tutorial video if you haven't got it yet. Well, this will be like base building and tutorial. This will be like a series, but it'll also be tutorials on how to do things in the future once we actually get going here. But at least that's how I think it will go. So now all that's roofed, I think, yeah. Because it says outdoors, and then when I go over here, it says indoors. And then this is also, well, this is outdoors, but it's roofed. So, yeah, I think I'm going to leave this video here. So, we've got a lot, well, a decent amount done. We have 3 beds, a room, and a supply shed, not even. We got people assigned to work, and that's probably mostly all what we need right now. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.